Branding through social media in 2015. Now this is thoughtful. Hello, I'm Kitty Boo in Shanghai. Today we're bringing you the first episode in a 6-part series sponsored by Weibo, China's leading microblogging platform, to help marketers understand this market's social media environment and use it more effectively to build online relationships with local consumers. To kick off the series, our topic today on Thoughtful is 2015 predictions. We'll look at how brands should use social media platforms like Weibo in the coming year to engage consumers, build brands, and ultimately grow sales. We'll ask our experts here today, Michael Lin, J.K. Shen, and Leon Zhang, what to expect this year with new operating systems, apps, games, and other tools that can help you make the most of your social media budget in 2015. If you'd like to hear more from the speakers in this sponsored series, Weibo is hosting a discussion site where viewers can interact with our guests and other industry members. You can access this site through the QR code on the screen here or through Thoughtful's Weibo account at the link below. And Viveka Chen will share a thought or two about her expectations for social media spending in 2015. But first with us in the studio today is Ken Hol, General Manager for Marketing Strategy at Weibo. Thank you, Ken, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Ken, you have been on Thoughtful China as a guest before, but today is quite special because it's the first episode of a 6-part series. Yep. Could you share with us a little bit about the reasons behind the series and also the topics we'll be covering in the next 6 episodes?
Sure. Thank you. I think we're very happy to partner with Thoughtful China on this. I think the 6 series is it's really not just about Weibo, to be honest, but I think. We see a lot of exciting things happening in the social media space, and we think we have certainly done a lot of work, done a lot of thinking, but it's important to also have a place, have a platform to get the other guys from the brands and from the agencies. Let's all talk about from different angles. I think social media has changed a lot. So what we want to do, again, we want to partner with Thoughtful and having people together to discuss from different angles and to share their thoughts with the industry.
So Ken, now it's January, the beginning of a new year. What are some of your personal expectations of overall social media marketing 2015?
I see 3 things. I would say first one, I would say is broader. So what I mean by that, I think the brands will try a broader set of programs and initiatives on social media. So in addition to what they traditionally used to do in terms of creating content and just getting fans and getting KOLs to spread it, I think brands will be trying a broader set of things, including pay media advertising, including video, including other things like selling products, including leveraging and TV and other channels to integrating, I would say, the marketing programs. So I would say the first trend, I would say broader. The second thing, I would say deeper. Deeper in the sense, I think, traditionally, I think brands focusing on, growing fan base and getting the buzz out. But now I think you see more and more brands, they're not just happy with that level of results, but they're more interested in addition to building brands, how do they generate leads? How do they drive these people to offline events, to online website, to have deeper engagements all the way through conversions, all the way to selling products. So that second trend, I would say, is deeper. The third thing I would say is more performance results oriented, that kind of requirement. So I think we hear more and more from more and more brands, they want more targeted reach, capabilities, for social media. They want more data-driven insights. How do we leverage the big data to better identify the target audience, to tailor more personalized messages? So I see these 3 trends.
As for Weibo in particular, though, can you tell us about the new tools and products that's being introduced to help brands to build a fan-centric ecosystem?
Sure. I think I would say also from these maybe 3 different categories. So the first one, I would say more focused on traditional, what we call advertising. So in the advertising space, we're focusing more and more on feed advertising now. So in the Weibo, so again, it's not just the traditional display banner ads, but as well as how do we embed advertising messages in the feed, because feed is the natural behavior, is the core experience, if you will,
of
how
the
consumers
fans who are
exactly
logging on,
how do they log in on Weibo, how do they consume content. So within the feed advertising, we're expanding a lot more on different formats, right? So we have video cards. We have, where brands can put a video directly in the feed. They don't have to put a link and go to a video site. That's one example. And we have other formats, like you can put products there as well. You can put events there as well, and all that kind of stuff. So on the advertising part, we're also doing more on the traditional display side. So we have the mobile client opening splash screen, full screen ad, but we are making that more interactive now. So people now can see a very visually impactful ad, but it's also interactable. People can click on that, go to a landing page. So on advertising, in addition to these format enhancements, we're doing a lot of work on targeting capabilities, right? So how do we leverage these big data capabilities that Weibo have, and enabling those targeting capabilities across these advertising products. So the second part, I would say, more helpful around for brands' own space on Weibo. So on the page functionalities, for example, so we're enhancing that, the functionalities and features on the page. In addition, that for some specific verticals, like automotive, maybe travel, maybe entertainment like movies. So we want to build more specific, industry-specific modules, allowing these brands in these industries, they can have deeper engagements. Now, obviously, you have to build that engagement yourself, but we're providing the tools, the products to enable you to create those engagements on your page. And the third thing I would say, it's more kind of maybe on the back end. So like Weibo Payment, Weibo Pay, these kind of tools. It's not a tool itself. It's not a product itself. We're not selling the product, but enabling brands to sell stuff yourself on Weibo by leveraging this kind of online payment tool that's specific for Weibo.
China's media landscape is quite unique. To adopt a Western strategy heavily to the China market is irrelevant to some degree. And Weibo often is referred to as the Chinese Twitter, which is an oversimplification. So from an insider perspective, what are some of the evolution Weibo had gone through in the past years?
Sure. I think yeah, that's a very accurate statement. We cannot simply copy or follow the Western model here in China. I think when Weibo first started, let's say 4 years ago, I think that's, maybe taking a lot of pages out of the Twitter model. I think it's mostly a micro-blogging platform. But over the years now, if you look at this, we started innovating, putting pictures, way back. That's before Twitter, right?
And now video as well.
Video, and then selling products directly. I think all these things they're certainly not copying or following the Western model. So I think today, how do we describe Weibo, right? So I think it's an interesting question. So I don't want to find Western examples to say, oh, this is the Chinese that. But I think for us right now, we see Weibo, what we want Weibo to become is the most efficient information discovery platform. So what that means is, why people come onto Weibo. So I think it is about discovering new things. I think that's probably one of the key differences between Weibo and some other social media platforms where maybe socialing with friends is more important. But here, Weibo, you're not limited to just your close friend circle. You're not just every day looking at a very narrow set of content, right? So I think one of the beauties for Weibo is, if you want to enlarge your knowledge base, if you want to discover new things, if you want to discover new products, if you want to discover events that's happening in the world, I think Weibo remains to be the most efficient, the right platform for that. Now our job, at the current position, under the current positioning, is obviously how do we make that more efficient, make the discovery process more efficient? Because one of the challenges that we have is by allowing so much information flowing on the platform, it obviously creates certain challenges for the users to find the ones that they're interested in. What we are doing here is we are based on the big data, based on people's behavior, based on people's reaction to different content. We're trying to do content, organizations will try to do different channeling, all that stuff, try to make that as efficient as possible. So that's, I would say, one of the key positioning for Weibo. Another thing I think associated with that, that's specific for brands, I think that's also very important here, is, as brands are being discovered, as I said, it's a discovery platform. As the brand's message are being discovered by consumers, how do we also provide more opportunities for brands to have that close loop in terms of a marketing perspective, from engagement perspective, right? So that's what I said at the beginning. I said that brands want to go deeper. Brands is not, they're not just satisfied by, say, getting the message out and discover, but how do I get people to really engage and discover more? How do I get them to engage more? How do I get them to buy more? So I think here is, so in addition to just a discovery platform, what are some of the necessary actions we want consumers to take, or we enable them to take after discovering that? So that's why, we're actively building products and engagements, experiences in those areas there as well.
Well, Ken, thank you for the updates and your insight.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break. Then we'll hear from Viveka Chen, CEO of We Marketing Group, about her expectations for social media spending in 2015. I've been watching Thoughtful China ever since it started in China, and it taught me a lot in terms of advertising and marketing, but now I see that it also taught me a lot in terms of the different new media and also all walks of life.
My prediction for social media trends in China can be summarized in 3 keywords: mobile social commerce. And this affects the role of social media, the way that it is used and measured, and its value to clients' businesses. Social is no longer, quote, new media. It is becoming an integral part of every Chinese consumer's lifestyle. In just one social platform, you can chat, play, share, find, and importantly, shop, buy, pay, and give. This Chinese New Year, digital red packets, which is called Fa Hongbao, may be even more popular than physical red packets. So in terms of role, social is becoming your own sales channel, not just your own media channel. More clients will set up WeChat malls using the convenience of mobile and the influence of friends to sell. That is why Tencent just paid 350 million RMB to buy Koudai Tong, which is a software tool that helps you create your own WeChat mall. We Technology will launch a new software solution in January of 2015 for clients to manage mobile shop networks on WeChat. In terms of use, social will be used not only to generate what we call buzz level, but also sales conversion. So in order to do that, social teams must work very closely with e-commerce teams to really generate qualified number of leads and conversions, not just a convenient click. Social data analytics will play an increasingly important role in shaping marketing decisions from product development to CRM. And social media will be used, I believe, not only on what we always call smartphones, but all kinds of wearable devices like your health wristbands, your iWatches, and so on. All this will change the value of social media from nice to have to a must-have component for both consumer and business. Remember, your social influence is your social and commercial currency. I believe 2015 will be the year of mobile social commerce. So get ready for the age of fans economy to take off.
Thanks, Viveka. We're back in our studio today with Leon Zhang, National Head of Social Media at Mediacom China, Michael Lin, General Manager, Research and Consulting Business, CIC, and J.K. Shen, Senior Vice President of Brand Building and Social at Razorfish in China. Welcome to our studio. Today, we're talking about your predictions of 2015 for China's social media ecosystem and what trends to expect from social media platforms like Weibo, as well as new tools, operating systems, games, and other tools that will help marketers engage with online consumers. Let's start to take a look at the numbers today. There are about 642 million internet users in China, with 91% of these users maintaining multiple social media accounts, with Weibo still being the leading microblogging platform. In its last quarterly update, Weibo reported 167 million monthly active users as of September 30th last year, and that's a 36% year-on-year increase. And it has 76.6 million daily active users, and that's a 30% increase. The question is, what is driving this growth? And do you see use of social media sites like this continue to grow at such a fast speed?
The key drivers to this growth, first of all, is the user foundation. So we have, China has a huge population, and with the economy and the technology developing, it's getting much and much easier for us to access internet than ever before. Like 10 years ago, we may need to find an internet cafe or go to the library in the university to visit the internet. But now what we need to do is just simply bring out our smartphone. And then from the user's perspective, actually in China, a lot of young people need to leave their hometown and go to another city to either for continued education or for work. So they need to find a way to keep connected to their families and friends, and the social media actually exactly fulfill these needs. And also, currently, young people are facing a lot of pressures, more and more pressure actually. So they need to find a channel to release and speak out, also to keep charging themselves with the latest information and connected with this fast-changing world. And also, social media, especially like Weibo, as a real-time information portal, can help with this these needs. And from the platform side, actually, like Sina and a lot of media like Sina are investing a lot to keep optimizing their products and attract and retain the users. This has been a big driver to this growth as well. So yes, I think with all these factors still existing, next year the trends will keep growing for sure, although the pace might be a little bit slowed down because it's already almost reached saturation, but the overall trend will for sure keep growing.
So it will keep a certain momentum, but it will slow down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
JK, what do you think?
I would agree with Leon's point for all the parts. I just heard that for the people now can live without a mobile for over 10 minutes. So social is not a media anymore. Social is kind of behavior. Everyone is living in the network, living the behavior. So I would assume that the figures might keep growing, but I would agree that we are more like penetrating more different behaviors of the social rather than fixing to the big platforms itself.
I think the number will keep growing, and my conviction stems from two fronts. One is on human nature. I think it's in human nature to share, to be curious what's going on around us, to pick up useful information that's productive, or to consume content, stories that's entertaining, or even just to gossip or chit-chat out of social necessity. So that's number one. And number two, we are living in an age where innovation is the norm. And I would expect to see more and more apps, games popping up on the scene and become the latest sensations. And with so much fun yet to be discovered, I think netizens will stay engaged. And from a social listening perspective, from what we have been able to monitor, the volume of social conversation is indeed increasing over time. And this is generally true across different vertical industries, including beauty, luxury fashion, FMCG, auto, technology. So in a nutshell, we believe social is here to stay and here to scale.
Well, Weibo's mobile app exceeded 72 million monthly active users in the same period. Is mobile use growing faster than desktop use? And do you see a difference of social media users using these two different platforms, mobile versus desktop, in terms of the activities they're engaged in?
I think the rise of mobile is not only for social, but actually for almost all the internet applications. According to the latest NIC reports, mobile has already exceeded PC and became the #1 internet accessing device in China right now. So I think this the same is for Weibo, and this actually reflects a multi-screen behavior. There are two types of multi-screen behaviors. One is sequential, where we move from one screen to another, and another is simultaneous screening, where we using multiple screens at the same time. So in the first case, sequential case, the Weibo activity is more used in the fragmented time and context. So the activities on Weibo is also tend to be more fragmented, like light-weighted, like retweeting or simply comment with some short texts. And those heavy-weighted, like writing long Weibo and editing with beautiful pictures, and would tend to happen on PC side. And in the simultaneous case, people, for example, people when watching Spring Festival Gala or a football game, they may, in the meantime, using the mobile to text some comments and check their friends' updates and so on. So I think the implication to brands for this is to design and tailor-made activities according to mobile and the PC separately, and also to consider a multi-screen real-time interaction experience to reflect the context and the behavior change.
Yeah, actually we got quite a lot of supported by our project experience that more and more users from mobile rather than for PC for some campaign engagement from the back office. But I think still there was quite difference between that, like mobile and just facilitate, connect each of the piece of time to extend the users to get online, get on social. But that's still quite a lot of peak time for the PC users, especially for the like working hours. So if we're checking about the hours of from the traffic, that definitely there's some difference. But mobile definitely take the lead of the engagement as an end of the platforms.
I think it's becoming increasingly apparent that mobile usage is on the rise, and we have seen more and more videos and pictures being shared on the social platform in addition to simple text. Another interesting development is the rise of multi-screen engagement. For many who are socially active, it's not enough just to watch TV programmings. I think there is a genuine desire to share opinion or to express opinion and connect with people who are like-minded. So this actually poses a challenge to social listening, because right now we need to make sense of the buzz, not only on a conversation based on text, but also more broadly in terms of pictures, videos, content. And also we need a better appreciation of the context where mobile engagement actually takes place. So in a sense, we need to be able to distill insights taking social as well as other digital data. But I guess that's the fun of working in the social listening space, because we actually adapt as consumer media behavior evolves over time.
We're seeing a blurring of lines of different platforms. For example, Weibo now offers payment options that allow for e-commerce in a new way, partially thanks to its tie-up with Alibaba. So the question is, will the integration of social media, technology, and physical purchases continue to expand? And could you give some examples of how business and services can take advantage of this integration?
Yeah, I think this is kind of the changing of the behavior. Now the social mobile commerce just enable all the consumers to get closer to life from social to real purchase. So it's already changed. Consumer get used, just like they scan QR code to connect with friends. They click mobile to purchase. So it's already there. So how marketers and brands can leverage this kind of change is that start with the strategy. So that's why we always propose omni-channel strategy for our customers. So example that there is a new entry of the brand and just want to enter in China. So start with omni-channel with retailers. So for the consumers, they can shop in the retail, but purchase through mobile or even social. So this is strategy part. And also it's kind of how we can build campaigns, and not only for engagement, it's also end with purchase. So this is the ultimate goal for every brand. So now the environment, social environment, enable all the brands to think about how you can connect this strategy between social and commerce.
I think most brands are still experimenting, trying to figure out the best way to optimize their e-commerce experience. And also in the process, trying to capitalize or monetize their social assets as part of the overall equations. Some examples. Some brands invest in exclusive offers on a digital front for e-commerce. I think Coach is a case in point. Some brands overlay e-commerce functionalities or capabilities on top of existing CRM or loyalty programs. Starbucks may be an example for that. And some brands even leverage the KOL, the key opinion leaders, as part of the media touch points to drive referrals or recommendations. Most brands in fashion take that approach. So I think jury is still out as to what's the sort of best practice in terms of driving e-commerce experiences. From a social listening perspective, however, what we are really interested in is on e-commerce reviews and how to take that insight to help enterprises or business to optimize their brand experiences. I think e-commerce review is critical in two senses. One, the feedback on the channels and the platforms help inform tactical executions in the short run. And the feedback related to product usage, whether good or bad, help inform product innovation and product roadmap. So in essence, I think brands should seriously look into social listening as part of the tools to help optimize their e-commerce experience.
Well, let's talk about operating systems, apps, and tools that's going to come out of this year in 2015. That could offer opportunities for brands through content integration. What are some of the budding trends you foresee in this year?
I think one trend would be the one-stop integrated social profiling and CRM system, because China's social media is very fragmented, a lot of different platforms, so a brand needs to create multiple brand presences on different platforms. But the user accounts on different platforms ultimately might be just one single person. So I expect there should be a third-party CRM tool which can aggregate all the user information from different platforms into one single database and also connect with the existing CRM system of the brand, so that brands can fully leverage and understand what the consumer behavior is and how to develop marketing strategy based on that. This is the CRM part. And another part is the programmatic buying for social. Because programmatic buying is not a new concept for digital, but it's still relatively young for social, especially KOL, key opinion leader buying. Currently, the brands and agencies, a lot of them are just doing the KOL planning and buying manually, but this will change. As I know, Sina Weibo already launched their Wei task in the past, and they keep optimizing and investing on these platforms. So with this platform growing, I think the programmatic buying will become an essential part in social KOL and social buying as well.
Michael, JK, and Leon, thank you for being in the studio today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can visit the Weibo discussion site to interact with the guests on today's show, as well as other industry members. Access this site through the QR code on the screen here or through Thoughtful's Weibo account at the link below. We'll be back next month with the second episode in this 6-part series sponsored by Weibo, with advice about what building a fan economy can do for your brand. That wraps it up for today. Be sure to subscribe to us on Youku, Tudo, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Weibo, WeChat, and Twitter, and join our LinkedIn group. See you again.